Pollinger. So I'm Jonathan of Internet Future, going to talk to you about social media in the next 15 minutes. What we're going to do is demonstrate 10 examples of companies that are really making it work out there. They are having success with social media, and hopefully that will inspire you guys to go out there and create your own success with channels like Facebook, Twitter, Google+, Pinterest, and LinkedIn, and we are going to look at all of these. So, starting off with, well, actually, before we kick off, all of these emphasise three words that I bang on about quite a lot, really, but they're an important rule set to follow. Easy to remember, three words: listen, connect, and engage. So, take away nothing else from this little talk. Take away these three words, because I think you'll find they apply to pretty much most social networks, but also pretty much most social media situations as well. And those words are listen, connect, and engage. And as I go through the different examples of social media success, I'll try and reference back and point out how the examples illustrate these key words. So let's crack on. So number one example from Sainsbury's, and some of you might actually be aware of this. This was a letter, or a couple of letters, that went absolutely ballistic, viral across Facebook. It's a letter written by a 3.5-year-old girl called Lily to Sainsbury's, who pointed out that the tiger bread that Sainsbury's was selling on their shelves looked more like giraffe bread, because it was in a pattern of a giraffe. And I think when you see the pictures in a minute, you'll probably agree. And this is a good example of listening by a guy called Chris King, working on the Sainsbury's customer service team, who replied to Lily. Unfortunately, you're not going to be able to make it out exactly, but he replied to her in her style, so he's listening and using her language. So, for example, in the middle of his letter, he says maybe they were a bit silly talking about the bakers, and he signs it Chris King, age 27 and a third. So he identified with Lily. People really responded like these two letters and were engaged by them. Now, this is just one example. This is actually a friend of mine who has an interest in customer service. He's a customer service consultant, and he's one of thousands, possibly even hundreds of thousands of people, not Sainsbury's as a body, but just ordinary people on Facebook who uploaded screenshots of those two letters, the very screenshot that you saw, in fact. And so, just from his example, you can see that 157,000 people liked that. Absolutely massive exposure for Sainsbury's in terms of PR value. 50,000 people nearly shared that across their networks. Now, a share means that pretty much their friends would almost certainly see that if they're regular Facebook users. And we know from Mark Zuckerberg that 50% of people access Facebook every day, so mostly half of Facebook users are very regular users. So terrific exposure. And it was a social media success for Lily, a 3.5-year-old girl, through the power of Facebook, managed to change a major corporation's product name. If you go down to Sainsbury's in Tewkesbury Road later on this evening to do your shopping, you'll see that you can buy giraffe bread. It is no longer called tiger bread. Social media can be a very powerful thing. Number two, Discovery Foods, another food-related example. So Discovery Foods started up a Facebook page in April this year, not very old. They've already acquired 30,000 fans because it's a very engaging, interesting page. People are getting involved in the page and they're sharing the content. And taking a slightly different tack, Discovery Foods, they give stuff away. They have a draw every Friday, they give it a catchy name, Freebie Friday, in return for, if people want to, not compulsory, people's data, so name, address, and so on, so that they can be sent vouchers and put on the mailing list, sort of marketing kind of thing. And all these examples, by the way, you can check out yourself, visit the page. So quite an attractive design page, not too expensive to curate, but they've seen a nice bit of growth from 1,500 entrants back in May every week. that's a monthly figure, sorry, the competition's every week, to 4,228 last month. So nice sort of growth there, and a lot of information they're capturing, a lot of brand awareness, so that people, when they go to the supermarket, they're going to be aware of the Vitamix and the other food offerings that Discovery Foods provide. Number 3, local example, I do a fitness boot camp, and I was talking to this guy, Tony, a couple of weeks ago, and he's a carpenter and joiner, does kitchens and floorings. Just in conversation, told me that in the last 2 years, he's basically had £10,000 worth of business through Facebook. Just maintains a page, maintains his presence on Facebook, does simple things like this, posts pictures of his products that, I'm sure you'll agree, looks really nice, gets people involved, and it's a platform for demonstrating his craft and what he does. And people recommend as well, so you see his recommendation, done fantastic work for us, highly recommended, honest, reliable, and good quality. So Facebook and other social networks, they basically provide a platform for your customers to do your marketing for you. They're almost like an adjunct of your marketing department, except you don't have to pay them. If you engage them and you provide a good service, then they'll post this sort of stuff on Facebook and give you a tremendous amount of brand awareness and PR. Moving on to number 4, another local business example called Kiss Me Cake. Lady behind this business makes cupcakes, and she runs cupcake courses. It's a one-woman business, and look at this, 5,723 likes, 1,218 talking about this. Now, that's a bit of a technical thing that I haven't got time to explain, but it basically means people involved with the page who are interacting with it over the previous week. So that is pretty powerful marketing for one person. 1,218 people talking about her products in a single week. And as an adjunct, she's just moved on to YouTube, and driven by the Facebook, she's picking up, and obviously the videos in their own right, but she's picking up around about 40,000 views a day at the moment on YouTube. And it all started for her on Facebook. This is a couple of examples from her page. So simple stuff again, post nice attractive photos of cupcakes. 67 people were engaged with that. 21 people commented on that. Nothing particularly exciting or interesting, but notice the style, a nice informal style. Mint chocolate chip, bubblegum, strawberries, a description. Mr. KMC, that's the husband, Mr. Kiss Me Cake, has laid claim to 3 boxes to take to work. And all the page is like smileys and kisses and this sort of style. She's listening to her audience, she's connecting with them, using nice informal, friendly language, getting them engaged. Being totally social, she's even posting pictures from her competitors. So this is from a competitor, but nice photograph, and 93 people have liked that one with 5 comments. But bigging up the competitor there, and no doubt at some point the competitor will do a favour and big her up on her page as well. But a nice bit of sort of viral connection between the 2 companies. Another local one, Glass Slipper Company. Now, Glass Slipper Company ideally suits the Facebook, like the previous example, very visual. They basically bling with jewels, ladies' shoes, and also gadgets like iPhones and iPads. And as you can see from there, just past the 10,000 fan mark, and again, one person is behind this business, just one person. So she's found the time to use Facebook, and is certainly getting tremendous reward from that, with a massive marketing army, if you like, of 10,000 fans. And so what's the ROI on that? Big deal, you might say. You've got a few fans on your Facebook page. Well, in a business perspective, if you go to her website, you'll see update from the 24th, that's just 3 days ago, isn't it? Due to extremely high volume of commissions, we are fully booked for the full encrusting service until September 2013. That's how busy she is. Facebook is her only method of advertising and marketing her business. So again, it's a powerful thing. Next example is a Twitter example, national company, I'm sure you've heard of them, Autoglass. Great example of a business that is using Twitter to listen. It's a fantastic listening tool, Twitter. You can, any business, any of us here, I've said this to a number of people this morning, can basically listen on Twitter for keywords related to their business and pick up leads, pick up sales, and to do business with people. And very simple methodology that Autoglass employ. They monitor for expressions like cracked windscreen, chipped windscreen, broken windscreen, that kind of thing. So when somebody wakes up in the morning, goes out and says, damn, had a bad start to the day, I've got a chipped windscreen, they will reply to that in a nice sort of casual, friendly way. Can't show you the examples, but check it out, check out the Twitter account yourself, and you'll see it every day. On the day that I share, it's 17 different examples of this. And they'll reply something like, are you fully comp? We can provide the service that will enable you to fix the windscreen for free. Or I say, terribly sorry to hear about the broke windscreen, hope your day gets better. Here's the link to book in your, I'm not doing this very well, but you get the kind of gist of it. They're basically coming back to the tweets and providing a link to their services, to their website. And paying dividends for them because, I won't read out the stats, but basically combining the real sales from the leads over both online and the phone as a direct result of Twitter is over 8%, which is like a really high ratio. Even more impressive is the fact that, having spoken to them, it's not sales and lead generation, it's not the primary aim of their Twitter account. The primary objective is customer service. So they'll liaise with customers when they've got problems or technical questions about the windscreen. They'll apologise if a technician is late for an appointment. That kind of thing. So it's not even the primary objective of the account, and yet they're picking up 8% lead to sale ratio. Example from local solicitors, BPE solicitors. Just kind of a quick one. This one had a conversation earlier with a firm of financial insurance guy who have similar issues in terms of compliance. And in the same way, BPE were nervous about setting up an account on Twitter when Steve Connolly, their employment lawyer, asked for permission to do that. And the response was, yes, but we'll have to run it through our compliance department, and then the partners will have to see it. And then, very frustrating if you know Twitter, because you're sending out a message in 140 characters. It's quick. You just want to sort of get the message out there. You haven't got time for the whole sort of compliance loop. But they got a policy together, so they had guidelines and rules that you had to stick to. They knew he was a sensible chap, so they let him get on with it. And within 2 weeks, they picked up 3 new clients. So another example of getting real business ROI returning from Twitter. A guy called Paul Goring, who is here today. Some of you may know Paul. Makes fantastic use out of LinkedIn. And read the words for yourself. He's sort of built up a network over 1,200 people now, uses it every day, and regularly gets new clients, valuable leads, and relevant information for his business from LinkedIn. A guy called Paul Stickland, he's an artist, makes great use of a fairly new social network called Google+. It's kind of, people call it Google's version of Facebook, but it's kind of more than that. It's bringing all the Google services together, but it's growing really, really fast, and it's already approaching half the size of Facebook in terms of members, and it's only just over a year old. So Paul basically communicates with people, does sort of doodles like this, and various drawings and photographs, because that's his business. Very engaging content, and also sells a lot of work through it. He's a single guy, one person business, and on Google+, his audience is 11,394 people. And he's on there sort of about 5 to 6 times a day, talking with people about his work and literally picking up commissions. If you go and look at his feed, then you'll actually sort of see this in practice and see this happening. So that's one from Google+. And the last one from Sony Electronics is a social network called Pinterest. Some of you may or may not have heard of it. Pinterest is a very visual social network, all about photos and videos. The idea is to create a scrapbook or boards, to use the jargon of photos and videos. And this is so they spent a lot of time preparing it, sort of 6 months research before launch, so they knew exactly what they were going to post. And they got into it actually because they discovered their customers were sharing photos of gadgets. It was just like happening automatically. So other people were there on Pinterest. So it kind of makes sense for the business and brand to be on there as well. Which I've learned spin off at a tangent because I'm conscious of time here. But another sort of adjunct to that is, you know, it's always a good idea to, big reason to be on social networks is because that's where your customers are. And they are going to be talking about you, whether you like that or not. So I'd say to you, it really makes sense to be part of that conversation and to engage with them so that you can get value and benefit from that. So that's what Sony did with Pinterest. And the real returns on that were they picked up 2,500 followers in the first 6 months. So for new social networks, pretty impressive. And key thing from a business point of view, 800% increase in traffic from Pinterest to Sony Store website. Notice Sony Store website, this is where people buy things. So that is a big bonus for them. So people are basically going from Pinterest onto the Sony site and buying products, and Sony are getting real returns from that, as are a lot of other companies. So I think the message is hopefully that will have inspired you a little bit to see what other companies are doing out there, and perhaps you can use some of those examples. You might have to tailor them a little bit to your own business, but there's a few sort of ideas there that perhaps you can utilise. So the message is you too can be a social media success. Thank you very much, and maybe we've got 2 minutes.
2 questions.
2 questions. Yeah.
Measuring.
Okay.
Measuring you said a lot about some of the returns out. A lot of people are having difficulty quantifying.
Sure.
How would you recommend for anybody knowing the basic precepts of measuring across the social media?
Sure. Kind of falls into 2 brackets really. If it's sort of high level stuff, then it's a bit harder, especially if it's some of the more ethereal kind of things and concept kind of things like engagement. So for example, lady from Dance Studio, I'm not sure if she's in the audience, was talking to me about customer experience earlier this morning. So basically trying to improve the experience that her existing client base has got, so not so much interested in getting new clients in. And something like that is really, really difficult to measure because, yeah, anecdotally you might know if they start leaving, and whether they're happy or not, but very difficult to measure. However, if you're looking at things like driving traffic to a website, like the Sony example, then you can use tools like Google Analytics from the website point of view, or you can use a tool called bit.ly.com if you're taking notes, and that will measure precisely every click on an individual link that you've set up. So if you're using Twitter, Facebook, Pinterest, or whatever, and you're using bit.ly links, then you can precisely know how much traffic you're getting there. Other things you can do a little bit in terms of ROI. So if you're doing, for example, the Discovery page do this, they'll give out codes that customers can use to go and get a discount. Yeah. And so that's not social media, that's really traditional sort of marketing stuff. So people have got a coupon code, whether it's online or in the shop, you can then track because you know how much business is coming from Facebook, Twitter, and how much business is just coming in directly. So hopefully that helps. Yeah. One more, yeah?
Does your website actually show how much you do it, how much you make it?
Well, that's a perfect lead into my statement that you'll have to come along to one of my workshops to learn about that. But no, seriously, I do run regular workshops in Cheltenham on a monthly basis. Pretty much do Facebook and Twitter every month, LinkedIn, Pinterest, and Google every sort of other month. So it works out about 3 or 4 workshops a month. But I can honestly say that I actually do more free stuff than I do paid work. So if you go to my website, oh, bless you, somebody nodding, you can pick up loads of blog posts, publish 6 blog posts every fortnight, and there is a lot of how-to stuff on there. It's basically divided into 3 sections: tips, examples like this, and news as well. and I do a newsletter fortnightly, do videos, talks like this. So yeah, quite a lot of free stuff as well as
Buy him lunch, I'll have him for a couple of hours. Buy him lunch, I'll have him for a couple of hours.
Possibly. Yeah. So I think that's it, and Belinda will probably wrap up.
I'd just like to say
Thank you for listening.